Happy gorgeous Wednesday, Northeast Ohio. I saw people on motorcycles. I saw bicycles, walkers, joggers.
Top down today.
Lots, really?
Top down, baby.
Wow.
Yeah. And no apologies for it.
First time this year, right?
First time this year.
Wow.
It was beautiful.
Very nice. Well, hopefully everybody is enjoying this gorgeous day, although it's a little colder along the lakeshore. We'll talk more about that coming up. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford. Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Great to be with you again. Betsy, a very good Wednesday afternoon to you and to everyone watching at home.
We're going to get started today with the latest on the war in Ukraine. Today, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy made an emotional plea to Congress, asking the U.S. to issue a no-fly zone over his country. We have team coverage on it for you tonight. Our Isabel Lawrence will break down how local Ukrainians and politicians are reacting here. But first, NBC's Alice Barr is live in Washington with what happened today. Alice?
Well, Betsy, this was a stirring speech in the U.S. Capitol. And shortly afterwards, President Biden gave his own address. It's clear that he has been feeling the pressure to do more, especially after how moving those words were from Ukraine's president. President Biden highlighting the military aid the U.S. has provided. And he also took the new step of calling Russia's president a war criminal. In a history-making address to Congress today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy bringing the death and devastation racking his country into vivid focus inside the U.S. Capitol.
I see no sense in life if it cannot stop the death.
Zelenskyy pleading for more help to stop the Russian assault, speaking directly to President Biden.
Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace.
President Biden then laying out what the U.S. has done to support Ukraine as it fights back, pointing to an additional $800 million in military aid, from anti-aircraft systems to drones.
This could be a long and difficult battle, but the American people will be steadfast in our support of the people of Ukraine in the face of Putin's immoral, unethical attacks on civilian populations.
The president, for the first time, accusing Russian President Vladimir Putin of war crimes.
I think he is a war criminal.
But he remains unmoved on Zelenskyy's central plea for a no-fly zone to deter Russian airstrikes that have hit hospitals, homes, and schools. Through an interpreter, President Zelenskyy invoking Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech.
I have a need. I need to protect our sky.
Also asking for help delivering Polish fighter jets to his military. Lawmakers in both parties stirred into action.
Our country's got to do more.
But President Biden is resisting steps he believes could escalate the conflict into World War III. In an interview with NBC's Lester Holt, Zelenskyy responding, nobody knows whether that wider war has already started. There are some signs of progress in peace talks between Ukraine and Russia, but President Vladimir Putin gave his own angry speech to the Russian people today that showed no room for compromise. Betsy, back to you.
Alice, are there more details on the kind of assistance that the U.S. is providing?
So President Biden was really quite specific. He talked about the numbers, hundreds of shoulder-mounted anti-air missiles that the U.S. will be sending, anti-tank equipment. And then he mentioned drones, and NBC News has had some exclusive reporting on what those would look like. These are deadly drones that would be unmanned, be able to, fly from the sky and shoot down on Russian targets. So really, I think the president was trying to make the point that he's not in favor of a no-fly zone. He's been balking at sending these Polish jets, helping with that, sending those into Ukraine. He doesn't want U.S. pilots flying into Ukraine's airspace, or certainly having to interact and potentially shoot down Russian pilots in planes and trying to enforce a no-fly zone. But short of those things, he was really, I think, trying to show he's doing everything else possible at this point to support Ukraine. Back to you.
Alice Barr reporting live for us in Washington, D.C. today. Thanks, Alice.
Well, Betsy, our coverage on the war in Ukraine continues now here at home. Today's plea to Congress hit close to home for Ukrainians living right here in Northeast Ohio. Isabel Lawrence live in Parma this afternoon. Isabel, good afternoon to you. You spoke to one woman today about what she believes needs to happen. What did she have to say?
Yeah, Jay, Natalia Didziane lives here in Parma now, but she was born in Ukraine. She still has family there. Her ties to the country and the culture are strong. And she says more needs to be done to help Ukraine. Now, she told me that President Zelensky's requests for aid are purely humanitarian, asks being made to save lives of those under attack and trying to flee. She echoed his requests for support in the form of a new union of countries, planes, and a no-fly zone, which she says would at least help decrease the chances of one element of an attack.
If the United States or NATO does decide to do a no-fly zone, nobody in any history book is ever going to say that they've started a World War III, because everybody knows that this is all on Russia's shoulders.
And she also told me that at this point, she just hopes that Russia doesn't just get another slap on the wrist, in her words. Now, stay with us. Later tonight on 3 News at 6, I spoke with Ohio lawmakers about the United States' support in Ukraine. In Parma, Isabel Lawrence, 3 News.
Isabel, thanks, and we'll look forward to that report at 6. Bets?
Now on your feet at 5, get ready to paint the town green. The pandemic canceled the Cleveland St. Patrick's Day parade the last 2 years, but tomorrow it is back. And the good news, cases are going down. So doctors say we're good to go to socialize, but you gotta be smart about it. Remember, COVID is not gone. So be aware of who you are celebrating with and protect those who may be vulnerable.
So if you have elderly parents or grandparents or friends or family members that are immunocompromised, those are people that, unfortunately are not fully out of the woods.
All right, so as far as masks go, the CDC says they don't have to be worn outdoors anymore, but they are still required on public transportation. And if you do hang with the crowds, try and stay away from those who may be still vulnerable to the virus for a week or 2 afterward, just to make sure you don't get them sick, just in case. Or you could take a COVID test, make sure you're negative.
Well, it appears our Cleveland Browns have gotten themselves in a very interesting position as it pertains to the starting quarterback. While Baker Mayfield rehabs his surgically repaired left shoulder, the Browns were sending their private jet to go woo the Texans quarterback DeShaun Watson, who, according to reports, prior to the Browns' visit, made it clear he wasn't in love with the idea of playing in Cleveland. So where does that leave us now? Well. 3 News Sports anchor Nick Camino has been following this drama. Nick, what do you know?
That's right. It's all there, Jay, right? I mean, this is what we've been following, and here's what we know. The Browns quarterback situation, it seems to be changing every single day. Now, ever since a grand jury declined to indict DeShaun Watson on criminal charges, he really came to the forefront of a lot of teams' lists, and the Browns are one of them. Here's what we know on Watson. Yes, he's technically still with the Houston Texans, but it's clear he's going to be traded at some point, and it may be soon. Now, the Browns reportedly met with Watson yesterday. He's had conversations with the Panthers. He's had conversations with the Saints. Today, the 26-year-old quarterback met with the Atlanta Falcons, and there's an overwhelming feeling that they may just be the favorite. Here's the reasons. First of all, Watson is from Georgia, right? Played high school ball there. On top of that, he was a ball boy for the Falcons growing up, loved the team. Most importantly, Watson has a relationship with the Blank family, Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons. So now the big question would be, where does this leave the Browns with Baker Mayfield? Yesterday here on 3 News, we told you all about the lengthy social media post, right, on Twitter last night. Well, clearly he's unhappy about what sounds like the Browns trying to recruit Watson. Additionally, according to a report from ESPN, the Falcons, who we told you about, they informed their quarterback, Matt Ryan, that they were in fact meeting with Watson, that they were going to kind of kick the tires a little bit and see where things are at with him. The Browns reportedly did not do that with Baker, which may have rubbed him the wrong way. So now I think, Jay, here's Browns fans' fear, and it sounds like you might be kind of following the same path too, right? What if Watson doesn't want to come here, right? What if the Browns are not his team that, he wants to join? Well, now it sounds like you've really ticked off your quarterback a little bit, right? He wouldn't have put that social media post out there. You've kind of rubbed him the wrong way here. Now, where does this leave you if he all of a sudden demands a trade and wants out? So I'm starting to think, some of the options that they've had this offseason already off the board. A guy like Mitch Trubisky, he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, there's been other names that have come off the board. So the Browns have put themselves in a tough spot now, I think.
A really tough spot, and we don't know how it's going to play out, but the possibility exists, Nick, that they made a grave miscalculation. Because the word was already out that Watson had pretty much eliminated playing in Cleveland because of the cold and it wasn't in a dome. And you mentioned the ties he has to Georgia. It felt like Atlanta was the front runner all along. You can't put the horse back in the barn. The Browns cannot undo what they've already done. And we know all relationships are built on trust. Yes. And from where Baker Mayfield stands right now, he probably doesn't have a whole lot when it comes to the Browns front office. Because as you mentioned, other teams were telling their quarterbacks, yeah, we're going to take a look at Watson, while that apparently was not done with Baker Mayfield. It's going to be really interesting to see where we go from here. But a lot of folks that are saying, let Baker go, remember, it wasn't that long ago the Browns were 0-16. Yep. We remember the pain of that. He did break the 36-year playoff drought without winning a game. Yes, he was banged up last year, but he still was the quarterback that went to Cincinnati and decisively beat a Bengals team that almost won a Super Bowl.
You got to have a backup plan. I don't know what the backup plan is now.
I don't know what it is either, but the Browns better come up with one fast. Nick, thanks so much. We'll have more on the Browns moves coming up at 5:30.
Coming up next for us, the right relief. A local doctor shares advice on finding the correct medications to combat spring allergies. That's coming up in Wellness Wednesday.
Then, former President Barack Obama has joined Netflix. We'll explain his role in a new docu-series that's coming up in our pop break.
And you can't shake a finger at today. It was pretty darn nice out there, Matt. Hopefully the evening is shaping up to be that way too.
Yeah, evening's not bad. You mentioned the difference between the lake breeze areas and the non-lake breeze areas, which is most of the viewership. But I'll tell you, it is a stark contrast if you get up towards that lake shore. We'll do it all over again tomorrow. We've got another Jay's Best Day of the Year award heading out tomorrow. But for tonight, if you have plans, no problems whatsoever. 60s for most of us, back into the 50s, mainly clear skies. We know we can't have nice things forever. We've got your changes coming up in the forecast.
Welcome back to What's New. It is Wellness Wednesday, and as we count down to spring, for many, That also means allergies are just around the corner.
Took a walk today and saw the buds on the trees, and it looks pretty, but ugh, you know what that means.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Sandra Hong, an allergist at the Cleveland Clinic, shared some tips for the best relief. She says nasal steroids like Flonase can be extremely effective, especially now since it's warming up outside, and that would help to combat congestion. For the itchy eyes and the sneezing, which is the worst, I think, she suggests good old antihistamines.
There are medications that can be prescribed, and there can also be different types of immunotherapy, either sublingual, where we give you tablets under your tongue, or we can actually consider doing allergy shots that are so very effective for our patients.
So there is something for everyone. Most antihistamines start working in about an hour, but remember, not everyone experiences allergies the same. More severe allergies could require inhalers, different types of nasal sprays, and even those allergy shots that she mentioned.
Do you suffer from allergies?
I just, like, every now and then, there's I don't know what it is, but there's something in the spring that'll get me fired up, and definitely more in the fall for me.
Oh, really?
I'm not quite sure what it is.
What's weird is I never did my entire life. But over the last couple of years, I've noticed that there are sensitivities, particularly in the spring. Whatever is going nuts there is the pollen or whatever. And I talked to a doctor about it. He said, oh, yeah, you can absolutely develop allergies later in life.
Getting old just stinks.
I know. I want someone to tell me the positive things about getting old.
I'm
what is
feeling it right now.
And so, yeah, I always thought, wow, somehow I dodged that bullet. And I also thought I dodged the eyesight bullet because I always had perfect vision. But for any of you over 50 in particular, you notice that somewhere along the line, your close-up vision
You need those readers.
It just goes bad.
Yeah.
And mine happened like overnight.
Do you remember you made fun of me because I had the readers on?
I remember that, yeah.
Do you know what that was?
What?
I had 2 contacts in one eye.
Oh, you did?
In one eye. And I had taken it out. I'm like, oh, it looks fine. Took it out again. Looked fine. I took it out a 3rd time because it was really driving me crazy. And I'm like, wait a minute.
No wonder you couldn't see.
And I peeled it, and there were 2 contacts.
That's enough to make
eye.
you sick.
I'm a dork.
My wife one time fell asleep with her contacts in.
Oh, that's the worst.
And when she woke up, she didn't realize that they were in, and she put her glasses on, and I hear her yell, "Oh no, I'm healed!" And I ran into the room and I said, "What do you mean you're healed?" She said, "I don't need my glasses." And then she realized, oh no, I slept with my contacts.
Good luck getting those out, sister.
And by the way, I'm now in trouble for telling that story on TV.
We've all done it at times too. Hey, Matt's in with the latest on the forecast.
Hi, Matt. Your weather word today is relief, as in allergy relief.
Betsy, I remember your double contact day. I remember that. I wrote it in my journal.
Something is going on. Oh.
Right, that was good. Well, the itchy eyes, stuff like that, 'tis the season for that. Right now it's tree pollen. It's strictly tree pollen. Grass pollen kicks in May and June once everyone starts cutting their grass and it grows a little bit. But it's maple, elm, and juniper that you're dealing with right now. We're in the medium category today. So it could be worse, also could be better. This is what we deal with the warmer weather. Thursday, Friday, staying in the medium category. The rain Friday into Saturday is really going to help that kind of qualm everything that's in the air right now. Boy, does the air feel nice outside. It's in the mid and upper 60s outside. Boy, the map looks great, right? There's a blow dryer on the sensor over by Sandusky. It's not in the 80s out there. You're in the 60s as well. We've had a couple 70s, but we mentioned that lake breeze. This is for few and far between of us, right? The viewing area is very big. This is a very small, minute detail, but boy, does it play into our forecast. Temperatures in the 40s in the blue. So Kingsville, Conneaut, out towards Geneva on the lake, it's cold. If you have plans, you're in Ashtabula planning on heading to Geneva on the lake, for some wine or dinner tonight, much, much colder, so grab a jacket. Paynesville, you're right on the line there over towards Perry. That's where it comes in, a couple miles out towards the west side, Bay Village, Avon Lake. You know the drill if you live near the lakeshore. But why do I mention that? Because downtown, Betsy called us out yesterday. Euclid Avenue today was where the temperature changed from 71 down into the 40s, just north of that. The parade is on Superior. Notice where the lake breeze is. It goes south just in the southern Cuyahoga County. So if you have plans to come to St. Patrick's Day Parade tomorrow, grab a jacket. The lake breeze typically kicks in this time of year around noon, 12:30, 1 o'clock. So that's when that temperature will drop. So it'll be much colder for that parade than elsewhere. Big picture pattern, we've got a system down to the south bringing some much needed relief in terms of some rainfall to areas that are dry back towards Louisiana. This system will spread some clouds into our region. But for us, our big weather players, this system heading through the areas of the Rockies right now. This will come out in the Plain States with some rain. That brings our rain in here by Friday evening. And then Saturday weekend looking looking kind of rainy at this point, but the warmth is there. It is plentiful off towards the areas of the west. That's where we'll tap into next couple days, and that leads to a very warm St. Patrick's Day out there. So on the hour, this is for your parade tomorrow. 50s at 9, 50s at 1 downtown, and 40s by 5. So chilly. Elsewhere, we're up near 70 degrees. Beautiful day. National Zymer hour-by-hour forecast shows that nicely. Clear skies tonight is quiet. Tomorrow, more sunshine. These numbers should probably be up near 70. I think our model underdoing it. Bottom line, just beautiful once again tomorrow. And then Friday's interesting. We bring some rain in here, a sharp north to south temperature boundary. We'll talk more about that in the next half hour. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast comes with a temperature fall. It'll be chillier on Friday, but much chillier by Saturday. Betsy, first day of spring, maybe not feeling like it, but we'll warm up and bounce out of that with more rain heading our way next week.
All right. Thanks so much, Matt. Look forward to hearing from you again coming up in about a half hour. Coming up next for us, Kylie Jenner shares a video message about her journey with postpartum. The takeaway, she wants new moms to get from her experience.
Then, talking husky. Meet Maya. She's our worth the watch, and it's coming up. Beautiful animal.
Hey Matt, what's going on? I barely made it to work today.
That music means we're about to get smarter when it comes to entertainment news.
Yeah.
Kira Cotton's here.
Kira, Kylie Jenner has actually what is a pretty important message for new moms.
She does. She has a message for moms out there, and it's a good one. Motherhood is a beautiful thing, and we all love our own moms, but it's no secret that it's not an easy job. Yesterday, Kylie Jenner shared a message on Instagram detailing her journey with postpartum and telling new moms it's okay to not be okay. In the video, Kylie shared that since the birth of her son, Wolf, last month, she's been struggling, saying the journey hasn't been easy. She closed the video saying, "We have to stop putting pressure on ourselves to be back, not even physically, just mentally after birth." So yeah, just sending some love. The 24-year-old entrepreneur and reality TV star shares daughter Stormy and son Wolf with rapper Travis Scott. And from the Oval Office to national parks, former President Barack Obama has joined Netflix for its new nature docuseries, Our Great National Parks. Obama narrates the series that follows him as he travels the world in search of unique species found only in remote locations. The series is made up of 5 60-minute episodes. Our Great National Parks will be out April 13th. And from the great outdoors to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the trailer for the latest Marvel series, Ms. Marvel, has officially been released. The series follows Kamala Khan, a 16-year-old Pakistani-American girl from New Jersey who struggles to fit in at school and at home until she's gifted superpowers. Ms. Marvel is set to hit streaming June 8th. And lastly, if you're into candles, Yankee Candle has officially announced its 2022 scent of the year. It's called Inspire, and it features notes of limes, verbena, bamboo, and cedar. It'll be available for purchase next Monday. Jay and Betsy.
All right. I know you like candles.
I like some candles. Yeah. We'll have to kind of check those out. Some,
Some.
let's face it, we all know that some are not as good as others.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's
the whoo. Like, oh,
yeah.
Put the lid back on it.
All right, very good.
Thanks, Kate.
Sure thing.
Well, we all know that dogs are so cute, but what makes a dog even cuter? How about a dog that can talk? Here's Maya, the husky.
Say, I love you. Say hi. Say, I love you.
I love when dogs talk to you.
I love you.
I think that's the best thing about dogs. They're really trying so hard to tell you things.
Say hi.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling this one.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Say,
words.
I love you.
They're simple words.
I don't hear the words, though.
Like
if they weren't on the screen, I would never be able to tell you what the dog is saying.
Monique, our producer's in her. He's reacting.
It's cute because you're right. I think he is trying to communicate, but I just don't hear the dog saying, I love you. I've heard it.
Have you seen the dogs that do that?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I have.
Monique, we're going to have to do this one over again.
I just feel like this is a bit of a stretch. You can tell us on our 3 News
She's
Facebook
like, get out of
page.
it then.
She's mad at me now.
All right, we're going to get out of
Mo.
it.
You know I love dogs. I'm not feeling that one like I usually do.
All right, coming up in the next half hour, we'll see what Jay's feeling on this. Baker Mayfield penned a letter to faithful fans as Browns eye DeShaun Watson. We'll have the latest on all of that, plus how local organizations are reacting to the allegations against Watson.
Yeah. Then a new restaurant owner at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse makes history. We're going to introduce you to the woman behind Pearl's Kitchen. That's coming up in Clicking in Cleveland.
And thousands of local kids with big imaginations. The free library program, that's the one started by Dolly Parton. Well, it's looking to enroll even more to get reading.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Let's get you caught up on three things you need to know right now. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy made a history-making plea today to the U.S. Congress. It happened this morning. He's begging for more help to stop the Russian assault on his country, which has killed hundreds of civilians and forced millions to leave Ukraine. His biggest request for President Biden is to enforce a no-fly zone over his country.
Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace.
While President Biden still seems to be holding firm on not enforcing a no-fly zone, which would deter Russian airstrikes, he pointed to the $800 million additional dollars in military aid the U.S. is now sending to Ukraine. Meanwhile, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle agree we need to do more.
We're learning more today about a horrible crash in Texas that killed 9 people. Police say a pickup truck crossed the center line, hitting a passenger van head-on overnight. In the van was the men's and women's golf teams from University of the Southwest. They were heading back to New Mexico after a tournament. Their coach, 6 of the players died. 2 others are in critical condition. The 2 people in the pickup truck also died. That accident is still under investigation.
Betsy, today a group of Clevelanders joined more than 200 other crime survivors in Columbus for a Survivors Speak rally. The annual event is hosted by crime survivors for justice and for safety and justice. They say their goal is to urge lawmakers to better support victims' rights. They want more policies to help address trauma, prioritize rehabilitation, and tackle the root cause of crime. And with that, we welcome you back to the second half hour of What's New, along with Betsy Kling. I'm Jay Crawford. Boy, today was a day you'd want to play hooky. Today was the day, really.
I may have tried a little bit.
Did you try?
I got in the shower a little later than normal, and then I was like,
the show outside.
I'm fine with that, except remember downtown, it's like 48 degrees outside.
Yeah, I'm fascinated
So we
by
would
that.
have to like go to Akron or Canton to go do the show where, or tropical Dover. We should take a trip down to tropical Dover
We should
sometime.
do the show one day do it in beach chairs and a
They
beach
have a
umbrella.
phenomenal swim park down in Uricksville. We could go down that way.
Waiting for that invite.
Hey, we're waiting. Time of the essence. Yeah. Speaking of time of being of the essence, we're down to 4 days.
Gosh, it's so close now.
It is.
It felt like it today.
And today is game on, right? But we have this video here from our viewer, Diane Jameson. You can see the little hummingbirds visiting the feeder on her porch after a rain in Willoughby. Yes, that was last spring. That was not current, of course. I love hummingbirds. They are my favorite birds.
We've determined that we have the same hummingbird every year at our feeder. We have a hummingbird feeder. So they make the trek to South America, and then every year, somehow, with no GPS, miraculously find my backyard.
I actually saw an update. They are starting to move through the U.S.,
Right.
so we should probably get our feeders out here in the next few weeks.
They're getting close, and that means the warm weather is right around the corner.
Hopefully.
Today's top talker, so how did the Browns wiggle out of this pickle? We all know the importance of the quarterback position. No one knows it more than Cleveland Browns fans. And after finally breaking out of quarterback purgatory, you all remember the jersey with all the names. We thought Baker Mayfield was that guy, didn't we? Remember, he broke our long 36-year drought without a win in the playoffs. He looked like he was our franchise guy. And now here we are. Baker posted what appeared to be a goodbye message to Clevelanders on Twitter last night, as reports of the Browns going strong after DeShaun Watson from the Houston Texans were everywhere. Baker writing, "I have no clue what happens next," which is the meaning behind the silence I have had during the duration of this process. He went on to write, "I have given this franchise everything I have. That is something I've always done at every stage and at every level. And that will never change wherever I take my next step."
Well, with the question mark next to DeShaun Watson's name, with all of this taking place, you got to know, is he going to be a Brown? Is he not going to be a Brown? But what people are talking about really is the conduct off the field.
Yeah, just Friday, a grand jury cleared Watson of any criminal charges. However, there is still the issue of the 22 women who accused him of sexual misconduct and harassment. And there will be civil cases pending.
So it's what obviously a lot of folks have been talking about. Our Emma Henderson dug into the controversy with a victim's advocate today. Emma?
That's right. There's been a lot of discussion across social media about whether or not people can root for their home franchise if DeShaun Watson becomes the face of it. Now, Watson is far from the first professional football player to face allegations or even charges for his treatment of women. Current Browns running back Kareem Hunt received an 8-game suspension after he was caught on video shoving and kicking a woman. And former Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger had 2 women come forward with sexual assault allegations, serving a 4-game suspension, then continued to play in the league for more than a decade after. The question from advocates, what message does this send?
You go out and you carry our logo around, you are a representative of our organization, and to really be mindful if that's the type of message we want to send or even the type of message that we want to embrace as organizations.
Now, Gutka believes both fans and teams, the way they react to these situations, that's what will either change or keep NFL culture the same. And coming up at 6, we're going to look a little bit deeper into this with the victim advocate, including how this sets an example for kids rooting for teams like the Browns. Betsy and Jay.
Emma, are there any programs in place for young athletes to make sure they stay on the right path?
Yes, so the victim advocate I spoke to, she actually knows of a program that's going on right now at Chardon High School, and it focuses on your character both on the field and off, valuing both.
Obviously a very important part.
Well, Emma, thank you very much for that report. I can tell you that the league spends a lot of time and a lot of resources on trying to educate the players on the pitfalls of being a young professional athlete with a lot of money in your pocket.
Right.
They do a rookie symposium every year. And it's fascinating, Beth, because as part of this symposium, they actually role play. And they bring in people that will play the roles of the kinds of people they will come across in real life.
That's interesting.
And the whole thing is done to sort of educate and to indoctrinate these young kids, they're young men when they come to the league, on what they might face. And despite that, you still find that players get caught up in a lot of things they don't need to be caught up in. Now, I want to stress that DeShaun Watson has not been charged of anything.
Nope.
The grand jury didn't feel that the evidence that was brought forward reached the level of not just conviction, but filing criminal charges. So there is that. But there is also the elephant in the room that it's not one accuser.
It's 22 women.
And that's the problem that I am hearing over and over from Browns fans. Baker's not a bad guy. He's a good guy in the community. He has turned the fortunes of this franchise around. Do you really want to trade in that for this? And that's the problem that I think if this move happens, you're going to hear from a lot of fans that say they're going to have a hard time rooting for the organization moving forward.
And we don't even know if DeShaun Watson will be able to play
Best part
when
of all of
and
it
if
is
he gets here or wherever.
There were reports that he's not interested in even coming here. So the fact that it's got to this point, that's why I called it earlier, perhaps one of the most grave miscalculations the franchise has made in a long time, and this franchise has made some grave miscalculations.
Say something.
So we're going to have to follow it and see where it goes.
Come on.
Who knows? Okay. Next on What's New, Imagination Library, the nationwide program helping kids here in Northeast Ohio expand their knowledge with the help of Dolly Parton.
Then brains and beauty. An Ohio University grad is looking to find love on the national stage. We have all the details ahead in Clicking in Cleveland.
But first, Matt's back. He's got our weather in a jiffy. What do you have for us today?
Yeah, guys, I try to encapsulate, in a jiffy exactly how Northeast Ohio's feeling about the beautiful weather we've had. I think this does it. This girl's having the best birthday party ever, so she just yes. I'm 6.
This is what I did with my sunglasses today.
That's
just broke them.
We've got another one, and then we turned a little bit cooler this weekend. We've got some rain as well. We'll talk about it coming up.
She's super exciting.
All right, 5:41. My question is, how many people have their windows open right now? I think there's probably a lot of people, even just the window a little bit cracked or the door open. It's one of those days you want to get that fresh air in the house.
Let's play another game. How many windows do we have in the Weather Center? Doesn't make sense.
Makes sense, right? Let's do a weather observation. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Right. Behind you is a better view than what I have right now with the Skycam going on. But you're right. It's a windows open kind of day. You know, if you have, I mean, I'm just speaking for a friend here, but if you have, you know, cats that tend to, you know, stink up the house a little bit with the litter that you try to change so much and maybe you need to air it out, just saying. Today's a good day to do that, honey. Hopefully you're watching. 70 degrees in Cleveland today officially. Say, no, just open the windows up. No, I'll clean the window.
You did not.
That's not what I meant by that. 69 degrees for Akron and New Philadelphia. Ashtabula, victim of the lake freeze today, got up to 66 and temperatures started falling. We are one of the only spots in the country that have temperatures that are 20 to 25 degrees above average. This is the most above average across the entire country right now. What you're looking at is departure from average. The darker reds, obviously, higher above average, and it certainly was a nice bonus day today. You notice the cooler air that we have coming in here, though. Temperatures are going to go at or below average as we get into the weekend. Why is that? Well, we've got some rain and some clouds coming our way, and that system that we're tracking now is out in the Rocky Mountain area right now, producing some much-needed snow and rain for areas of the Four Corners region as well. That will head out into the Plain States. It's kind of a slow mover. It's going to take its time getting here. It'll be here by Friday, but another slow mover's down to our south, and this will spread perhaps some high clouds in here tonight and tomorrow. But overall, we're expecting a carbon copy of today for your St. Patrick's Day, and that involves temperatures that are up near 70 degrees. Keep in mind, if you missed top of the show, there is a decent lake breeze. We're expecting that tomorrow. The parade route downtown is right on Superior Avenue, and that is well north of where our lake breeze settles down to. So keep in mind, temperatures, although they're going to be near 70 degrees for most of the viewing area tomorrow, downtown we're talking temperatures in the 50s and 40s, so you will need a jacket. Peyton put this graphic together. This is the last 5 St. Patrick's Day high temperatures. We are going to be in bonus territory tomorrow. 2012 was the last real warm St. Patrick's Day we had, but we've generally been in the 40s to near 60 degrees last year, but we couldn't do anything about it, right? Your St. Patrick's forecast for the parade, 50s and 40s downtown. Everyone else near 70 degrees. So again, just don't be shocked by the lake breeze if you're not typically coming downtown. If you're anywhere near the lakeshore, you know how this goes in the springtime. All right, let's look ahead. National Design Mart day-by-day forecast here. We're going to look at our weekend system. This is Friday during the day. It looks like we'll be dry with increasing clouds, but expect rain for that Friday evening plan that you may have, and then that continues on into Saturday. It'll be pretty showery around here. Does look like the showers may linger into Sunday at this point, and then another rainmaker coming our way this week. Remember the GFS had snow? We said, maybe not so fast. Oh, we're still keeping snow out of the forecast. That's the good news. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Cooler on Friday, much cooler on Saturday with the rain, and then Jay, we will bounce out of this quickly. Still above average next week. 50 is our bonus. Our average high this time of year in the upper 40s, so we'll take it.
It's not 70, though.
No, enough 50s there to bridges to
June
the
is
real
right around the
spring.
corner. Here it comes.
And you're right, tomorrow will be best day ever, at least so far this year.
Thank you, man.
She made news this week for turning down the Rock Hall because she says she hasn't earned the rock title. But country music legend Dolly Parton certainly rocks when it comes to gifting books, Betsy.
Millions of free books donated to children around the world, including 2 million books right here in our area. And the program is hoping more local families will make that number even bigger. Our January Keaton has tonight's Education Station.
Do you see your name?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Right there.
Oh, that book came just for you.
You're looking at the impact of years of work started by Dolly Parton, all the way in Tennessee.
I feel so happy when I'm near you.
After launching in 1995 in Sevier County, where she grew up, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library now spans 5 countries with over 176 million free books and counting gifted to children.
It mails free, high-quality books to children every month that they're enrolled, from birth until they turn 5.
And it's all free of charge, no strings. Around 32,000 children in Cuyahoga County are enrolled in Dolly Parton's Imagination Library.
It's almost like putting the ball in their court and just watching them grow.
Parma mom Tiara Young enrolled her 5-year-old Isabel in Imagination Library 3 years ago. Tiara would love to see all eligible families enroll because of the change it's made in her family.
I would say in the beginning I wasn't an avid reader with her. But when I started getting these books every month, it made it really hard to not want to expose her to something new.
Who's your favorite person to read with?
My brother.
Your brother? Aww. A study by Case Western tracked the positive impact of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library locally and found that the longer a child is enrolled, the higher their kindergarten readiness score. In high-poverty zip codes alone, 83% of Imagination Library parents report they read with their child more often. 76% say their child is asking them to read more often, and over 90% believe their child will be better prepared for kindergarten.
January 27th, she aged out of the program, and her last book she received was Look Out Kindergarten, Here I Come.
Isabel turned 5 in January and starts kindergarten this fall.
We want families to be talking and reading and singing and playing around with the sounds of language, rhyming. All of that is going to help a child.
Imagination Library, doing what Dolly set out to do down south, foster a love of reading and learning in children in every community and the world.
Yeah.
January Keaton.
Awesome. All right, I think we got it.
3 News.
Awesome stuff.
Wow.
Well, the enrollment process for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library is easy and it is totally free.
Right now, only about half the eligible children in our area are enrolled. January put all the information that you need to register your child if they're not currently on our website, WKYC.com. We're talking about Dolly in the Rock Hall.
Yeah.
Can we nominate her for the Humanitarian Hall of Fame?
She just does this out of the benefit of her heart. And do you remember how cool it was to get mail when you were a kid that had your name on it? Remember when it was your name?
Sure. It's a big deal. And now it's a book that opens another door to the world.
Thanks, Dolly. All right, coming up, we're going to introduce you to Paul Brown. Wait a minute. No. Not that Paul Brown, but he does have a Browns connection, and he's using it to help people in Ukraine.
Pretty cool story. Then hospital stays are very tough. We know that, especially when you're a young child. We're going to show you how local therapists are making it a little more brighter and how you can help too.
Mic check. Here's what's clicking in Cleveland. We have Paul Brown in Ukraine. Thanks.
What a great program. She is my
So what are Clevelanders clicking on today? Stephanie Haney's here to tell us all about it. Hi, Steph.
Hi there, Jay. You know, if you are into Browns Twitter, you might know London-based Browns fan Paul Brown. Now, he's always traveling all over the U.S. to go to games, and today he traveled to Poland to help Ukrainian refugees with donations that largely came from Browns fans. And I talked with him on my 3 Things to Know podcast this week. Here's an update from him today directly from Poland.
This is the 600-person refugee camp where Julian's been doing all the hard work. I've just been posting a few videos, but every penny you give, this is where the money goes. And please keep donating, and thank you. Without you, this wouldn't happen.
Now we see him here with the results of those donations. He took in more than $15,000 US, and I mentioned largely from Browns fans. Now tomorrow he heads to the Ukrainian border with medical supplies for those fighting on the front lines. You can hear more about that on my 3 Things to Know podcast. That's on all platforms. We're telling Paul good luck and be safe. Now we have the final update on this long, chaotic season of The Bachelor. Clayton Echard ended up with Susie Evans after all, but not before she turned down his proposal after Clayton broke up with our Ohio girl Rachel Rakia and Gabby Windy at the same time. But all is well that ends well, because Rachel and Gabby will both be the next bachelorettes. Now this is a first for the franchise to have 2 bachelorettes go through this together. Rachel deserves this so much, and we cannot wait, of course, to follow along the whole way. And here is another first. Meet the owner of Pearl's Kitchen inside Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. This is Tawana Scott Williams, and she went from being a registered nurse to running a catering business that has now opened this door for her. The restaurant is named after her grandmother, Pearline, and she serves up comfort food like blackened shrimp, crispy chicken sandwiches, and mac and cheese. Now, Jay and Betsy, I really put my investigative hat on for this one because the field house is divided into neighborhoods.
Right.
Want you to know exactly where to go to get this. Pearl's Kitchen is in the East neighborhood, so that's where you need to go to get this good stuff.
Very cool. And I love what she says. I'm proud to be the first, but I hope I'm not the last.
Yes, absolutely.
Very good. Stephanie, thanks. Coming up next on What's New, we'll show you how therapists are putting smiles on these young patients' faces and ways you can help too. It's our Show Us Something Good.
Then on 3 News at 6, great concerns for our Great Lake. What was found at today's State of Lake Erie conference? That's coming up.
Was not with me, but Isabel, I think she was at Isabel and Betsy at 11.
Carmen.
Well, Carmen, I think.
Why would you want that?
His influence on the party is undeniable. It's just, I don't even think Ronald Reagan had that kind of impact on the party after he left the White House. I know he didn't. It's just crazy. They're all arguing over, no, I'm the good person.
I like guns more than you. That's just what you want to hear.
I'm oranger than you are.
Yes, that's it.
He's the kingmaker of the party right now.
It's terrifying.
I saw a poll yesterday that he's... Our show, Something Good, comes from Cleveland Clinic Children's. The hospital is celebrating Creative Arts Therapies Week. The therapists support all these adorable and strong kiddos by providing opportunities for self-expression that includes art. They paint, they play music, they draw, they mold things. Therapists also help patients learn new skills, reduce their anxiety, and deal with pain management. If you want to keep the creativity flowing, and why wouldn't you, you can purchase something off their wish list. Just go to the hospital's Facebook page and check out their Amazon wish list.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It is a great idea.
Cleveland Clinic Children's Amazon wish list.
Yeah, and so it's really twofold. You're buying something that you want, and the proceeds from that purchase go to help make kids like this smile.
Yeah, I know a lot of teachers do that too, so it's great to see all the kids. Yeah, you buy the items that they want, so you can help out that way.
Yeah, it's a wonderful program. We're out of time, but we are back tomorrow. It's going to be another beautiful weather day. We will see you then at 5 o'clock.
Maybe you'll see us. Maybe you won't.
You're going to play hooky.
Certainly. All right, 3 News at 6 with Russ and Laura's back starts right now.
Now at 6, plea for help.
Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace.
In an historic address, Ukraine's president makes a direct request to Congress and the White House for more help. Also, quarterback chaos. As the Browns shop around, there are new questions tonight. We'll have the latest. Party and a parade.
It is arguably the single largest event in the state of Ohio.
After being canceled by COVID for the past 2 years, the city of Cleveland prepares for one of the largest St. Patrick's Day celebrations in the country. And signs of spring. Hope you're enjoying this beautiful day. There's more to come. We'll take you around the area for a look.
Live from WKYC Studios, this is 3 News at 6.
And good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Russ Mitchell.
I'm Laura Cascio. Tonight, reaction to the plea for help from Ukraine's president.
During a speech to a joint session of the United States Congress this morning, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy drove home the destruction and heartbreak in his country and made an emotional appeal for more military assistance, putting pressure on President Biden to do more. NBC's Alice Barr reports from Washington.
In a history-making address to Congress today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy bringing the death and devastation racking his country into vivid focus inside the U.S. Capitol.
I see no sense in life if it cannot stop the death.
Zelenskyy pleading for more help to stop the Russian assault, speaking directly to President Biden.
Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace.
President Biden then laying out what the U.S. has done to support Ukraine as it fights back, pointing to an additional $800 million in military aid, from anti-aircraft systems to drones.
This could be a long and difficult battle, but the American people will be steadfast in our support of the people of Ukraine in the face of Putin's immoral, unethical attacks on civilian populations.
The president, for the first time, accusing Russian President Vladimir Putin of war crimes.
I think he is a war criminal.
But he remains unmoved on Zelenskyy's central plea for a no-fly zone to deter Russian airstrikes that have hit hospitals, homes, and schools. Through an interpreter, President Zelenskyy invoking Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech.
I have a need. I need to protect our sky.
Also asking for help delivering Polish fighter jets to his military. Lawmakers in both parties stirred into action.
Our country's got to do more.
In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we have reaction tonight from Ohio leaders to Ukraine's request for help. Isabel Lawrence spoke with both sides of the aisle